This month on Mustang Magazine, we've got some stories from summer.
NHS students see the signs.
The town of Norwood has a day of hope.
Dr. Galligan stops by for an interview.
And have no fear, the Chromies are here.
These stories and more on this September 2018 edition of Mustang Magazine. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Allie Kelleher.
And I'm Tim Rose. Mustang Magazine is a show produced by advanced broadcast journalism students from Norwood High School.
Today marks the beginning of the 7th season and we're excited to get things started.
For today's cover story, we go back to the first day of school, where students arrive to find the teachers greeting them with some special messages. Junior staff reporters Stephen Allinger and Dan Gruber report.
On Thursday, students arrived to find teachers not in their classrooms, but outside.
So it's the first day of school, so being greeted with a lot of excited people, welcoming you back, positive messaging. Can't go wrong.
The new principal, Dr. Galligan, wanted teachers outside to boost enthusiasm for the new school year.
We really wanted to just show students how much we cared. We want to start the year off on a positive note.
Teachers were all around the school, inside and out, welcoming the students.
Well, I was a little surprised, but you know, it's nice to see them out here.
I think the positive energy they're putting out has a good intention, especially for the freshmen who might not have the confidence to join a club or put themselves out there.
Dr. Galligan says there's a deeper meaning to why the staff was outside.
Relationships are the foundation of a school and a family and a community. The people are what make it happen. So the students and the staff here and the families and the community members are the ones that make this happen.
Galligan sees this as an opportunity to be able to show students how they feel.
I believe if adults show that positivity, that kids pick up on that really quickly and will match that level of positivity.
That's what this is all about, is just to create a great culture, say that you're going to enjoy your day, have a blast as you go through it. It's not just about sitting in your seat and being told what to learn. It's kind of all of us coming together and being a team here.
Teachers hoped that their positive energy would translate to the students.
With us as a staff, we want you to have strong connections with us. And with us as a staff, we want to have strong connections to each other. We're all a family here, and we're all here for kids. None of us would exist here if it weren't for the kids that come to Norwood High Schools.
With their signs, teachers showed their renewed commitment to the students.
So to have that permission to kind of just let down your guard a little bit and say, we love you, we care about you, this is why we're here, and we're all in this together.
With new students, a new principal, and new energy, students started out the year with a clear sign for the future. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Stephen Allinger.
Thanks, guys. The first day of school really was a great success. And kudos to all the teachers for making us feel welcome.
This school year looks to be an interesting one with changes to school policy as well as the policymakers themselves.
That's right. We do have a brand new principal at the helm, and we'll sit down with him a little bit later in the program.
And while you would think the new leadership is what students are talking about, you'd be wrong. The real chatter has come from the brand new one-to-one program that administrators have been rolling out.
Junior staff reporters Erin Wagner and Isabel Hagland were on the scene as the Chromebooks were distributed last month.
Chromebooks were issued to all NHS students recently as part of a brand new one-to-one program approved by school committee last spring.
I would say the best thing about the Chromebooks is that you can bring them home and you have them available to you at school. So it makes it a lot easier because you have that resource available to you at home.
Junior Laura Danahy says she appreciates the convenience the Chromebooks provide.
We're doing stuff online in class, teachers don't have to get the Chromebook cards and we don't have to get up and grab them. We kind of have them already at our seat.
Joe Kidd is the head of technology for Norwood Public Schools. He says the Chromebooks are there to help students and teachers in the classroom.
Being able to access just about any type of information that they need to access for their learning, and for students to take more control of their learning and have more options for both teachers and students.
Sophomore class president Juliana O'Neill says she's used her Chromebook for many things already.
I've used them for my homework, They help make homework easier to access and easier to turn in.
All parties agree the Chromebooks have increased teacher and student collaboration.
Teachers have been posting it on Google Classroom and doing it on Google Classroom.
So it makes it a lot easier because you have that resource available to you at home.
Hopefully it would allow students to have more choice on how they, just show their learning, how they present to their teachers and to their peers.
School officials say Chromebooks at the high school have all been issued, and they're hoping to expand their use moving towards the future. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Rory Kerr.
Thanks, girls. We're looking forward to seeing how the Chromebooks will impact the students at NHS.
Next up, we're headed into the community to meet some Norwood police officers who are trying to make connections with kids in the neighborhood.
Junior staff reporter Julie Salvaggio shows us how.
The Norwood Police Department says their new collector cards are a home run with local kids.
Once or twice a rotation of our rotation, I'm asked for baseball cards, to the point that I had to go back to the station to pick up more. I was going through so many.
And with most officers out on the road participating, there are plenty of cards to collect.
I can tell you there's about 30 officers carrying them, so if you've only got 10, you're missing 20.
For 5th grader Braden Lee, it's become a contest among his friends.
I saw my friend with one of them, then we turned it into a competition. He has 2 more than me, but I have some cool ones.
Recently, Lee got a card from Officer Kevin McDonough.
I met him at the police station.
The trading cards are fashioned after traditional baseball cards, complete with officer stats and personal information. McDonough says he hopes they provide the community with a chance to get to know them better.
On each person's card, there's a little write-up explaining yourself, your interests, the type of person you are. So
kids in the community say they enjoy reading about the officers' lives and interacting with them on a personal level.
Cool.
I like them because on the back they say like personal message and stuff. It's kind of like they're baseball players and they're on a team.
I like police officers because they save everything that is so bad.
All right, here you go.
And officers say there are more than a few ways to use the cards to make connections.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to give you a brand new one.
I know at least one officer just put a small personal message and left the rest of it blank, and he explained that he wanted to be able to write a note to kids as they come up and ask for his card. So I thought that was a neat twist.
Norwood Police Department says they're encouraging kids and families to ask officers for their cards whenever they see them on duty. And if they try real hard, they might just complete their collection. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Julie Salvaggio.
I'm missing a police dog.
Thanks, Julie. And the next time you see a Norwood police officer in the community, be sure to hit them up for a cop card.
And staying with the community theme, I recently met with some locals who are committed to helping families struggling financially in the Norwood area. I caught up with them over the summer at a recent fundraiser in Norwood. Over the summer, the annual carnival down at Hawes Pool took place.
So the purpose of the Day of Hope is to bring the community together and bring awareness of our great organization, the Circle of Hope.
The Norwood Recreation Department set up a lot of activities to keep families entertained at the carnival.
So we have a bounce house, we have ice cream, we have cotton candy, we have popcorn, dunk tank, a gaming truck, Paul's Ponies. We also have a slip and slide as well as tattoos, and we also have some face paint.
I really like the video game truck because it's fun and I like video games.
But past all the fun and games, the coordinators hoped people would take home a deeper message.
This event is raising money for the Circle of Hope.
This nonprofit organization provides assistance to residents that are in need.
The Circle of Hope is a foundation that was based on a promise that I made to my daughter when she was suffering with leukemia. She wanted to run a fundraiser for the people in Norwood who helped her. Unfortunately, she died before that was possible, but I had to keep the promise.
And it's safe to say her promise was kept.
Today, I think, is one of our largest crowds. I think when I just checked totally, we had about 250 people here today. Some of it is our camp, but a bulk of it is our community. But it's a great opportunity to bring everybody together.
The coordinators say the carnival was so successful, they can't wait until next year. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Allie Kelleher. If you're interested in being a part of the Circle of Hope Foundation, visit norwoodcoh.org for more details.
Okay, now it's time to take a break. We'll be right back after these
Make sure to buy a Pure Beauty bracelet from any member of the field hockey team. They're $10 and the proceeds support breast cancer awareness.
Welcome back. This past summer, students from Norwood High did a little traveling. Some traveled for vacation, but others for a learning experience.
That includes some of our own. In fact, 2 NHS-TV reporters headed south to attend the Summer Journalism Institute at the University of Florida.
As part of their experience, they were asked to produce stories while they were on campus. Here are their submissions now, straight from the swamps of Gainesville, Florida.
Several students in the University of Florida's Summer Media Institute have traveled far and wide to be here. For attendee Isabella Rodriguez, finding the program was purely by chance.
I'm from Puerto Rico, and I was looking up on the internet summer programs, and I kind of found this one by accident, I guess.
Students Amani Russell and Mariana Alvarez both say no programs in their areas could match UF's workshop.
I chose this program just because, you know, the University of Florida is like a really nice college, and so I felt like whatever summer program they offered would be like a really good one.
But being out of state creates unique challenges getting to the camp.
My mom had to travel with me because she doesn't let me travel alone, so that I could actually get here. And it was a bit hard because of the money crisis in Puerto Rico, but she came through for me.
For Rodriguez, the importance of meeting new people makes it all worth it.
I like knowing people in different states, in different places around the world.
With students from more than 15 states, 1 U.S. territory, and 1 foreign country, word of UF's Summer Media Institute is sure to reach more places than ever before. Reporting for Summer Media Institute 2018, I'm Nick Parkinson.
Who went to my high school.
Anyway, this is Taylor Swift Delicate on GHQ.
With 3,000 students in one of the largest college-level journalism programs in the country, the University of Florida has many things that make it special.
Built these programs over a period of 90 years.
The university features many opportunities where students can gain hands-on experience. Radio stations, TV stations, an advertising and PR agency, and even sports journalism resources.
There are a number of, we've counted between 12 and 14, depending on the semester, opportunities for students to get deep professional immersion.
UF senior Jamal Corley takes advantage of this opportunity.
Being able to go cover SEC games and get the real deal feel of it being in front of the camera, behind the camera, is just something that I really feel like has just made me a different person and appreciate what I want to do in my life more.
Jamal used the success of past program graduates to motivate him.
Laura Rutledge, Aaron Andrews, all big faces of ESPN.
These are the type of people Jamal looks up to.
I was just hoping to follow in their footsteps.
Reporting for Summer Media Institute 2018, I am Dan Gruber.
Thanks, guys. Looked like you learned a lot and had a great trip.
Dan and Nick weren't the only NHS-TV students who traveled. In fact, staff reporter Adeline Jeanette broadened her horizons by going all the way to Argentina.
And while she was there, she met an interesting professor and filed this report.
Nestor Fantini was only 22 when the Argentine military seized control of his country in the early 1970s.
Not only the president is arrested, but also they closed down Congress. They appointed the judges that supported the military, and at some point they started to arrest average citizens.
Fantini witnessed his fellow Argentinians face torture and oppression, which he says military leaders used to maintain social order and eradicate political opposition.
Growing in a country where they talk about democracy, but on the other hand, I mean, you see authoritarian and totalitarian systems, obviously creates a contradiction in the mind of any young person. And that's what happened with me.
So it wasn't long before he realized he needed to stand up against the state-sponsored terrorism.
As a young student, I felt that I had to make a contribution to change.
In 1974, the Argentine military known as Las Juntas caught up with Fantini.
At some point in Cordoba, Argentina, I was having a cup of coffee in this coffee shop that's called El Ruedo in downtown Cordoba, and I was arrested. That's when my second chapter in my life starts, when I end up in various political prisons.
In prison, Fantini says he was routinely beat and tortured.
They were concentrating political prisoners, and from all over the northern provinces of Argentina, we were constantly harassed, that the soldiers will come into the prison at any time during the day or night, and that they will start to beat us up.
But despite the harsh treatment and punishment, Fantini says he never lost hope.
I felt very strong because I had ideas of trying to improve my country, and I felt that if we were going to be killed, at least, we were in the right side.
In 1979, after 5 years of imprisonment, Fantini says he was surprised to learn that he was going to be released.
It was a very exciting moment, of course, in my life. The generals were still in power, and my life was in danger.
And even though Fantini says he was excited to leave the problems of Argentina behind, he knew he would carry the trauma from his experience with him forever.
There is nothing that I have done, nothing that probably I will do in the few years that I still have, that it's not related to what happened to me in those years.
While traveling as a survivor, telling his story, he hopes to pass on a message of hope to young people that want to make a change, just like he did.
Keep doing what you're doing, multiply your efforts, and make sure that in 10 or 20 years from now, you say, wow, I helped change the world, and you will definitely do it.
So the next time you use your voice, be sure to remember all those that have been radically silenced and tortured for using theirs. Reporting from Argentina for Mustang Magazine, I'm Adeline Janed.
The show is almost over, but before we wrap things up, I thought it'd help you get to know our new principal a little bit better. Recently, I sat down with him for this interview. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Rose, and I'm here with Dr. Hugh Galligan, who is the new principal here at Norwood High School, and today we're just going to be talking a little bit and getting to know him. So thank you for coming. We really appreciate having you today.
Thank you, Tim. It's awesome to meet with you guys. You guys do an unbelievable job here every day with the news program, and I'm happy to sit down with you.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun here. So before we, just to get started, before we get into the educational aspect of things, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what your life's like outside of the NHS hallways?
Sure. Outside of school, I'm busy with my family. My wonderful wife, Meg, is a nurse. We've been married 10 years. And 2 little boys. Hugh is 4.5, so he just started pre-K, full-time pre-K.
Awesome.
And my little one, Tommy, is 2.5. Tommy Tornado, we call him. So he's a ball of energy. So they keep me busy when I'm not busy here. And then, also involved in, I like to work out. I do CrossFit on the side.
Oh, nice.
I'm really involved in the rugby community. I played rugby for a long time, so coach that and stay involved there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now you work in education, but before this, can you tell us a little bit about your personal education, when you went to college, and how that whole experience played out?
Sure. I am a loyal Boston College attendee, alumni, and fan. So I did Boston College as my undergrad. Mm-hmm. I did Boston College for my master's degree in education, and then recently this past spring finished up my doctoral degree at Boston College as well. So stick with what you know. I love it there, and
mm-hmm.
It's been a good place for me, so I'm very fortunate to have been there many times over.
So what kind of brought you here to Norwood, away from your other job?
Yeah, interestingly, when I was an undergraduate at BC, one of my first student teaching internships was here in the old building at Norwood High, 1 day a week in an English class. Huh. And I remember that time fondly, and I remember that I had a great experience. I knew this was a place where kids really like to be here, and teachers really like to be here, and worked hard all for the same thing. So when you get that kind of community feel and everybody on the same page, you notice that, and I remember noticing that even at a young age when I was just getting into education. So that always stuck with me. And when I was finishing up my doctoral program in the spring, my plan was to kind of hang tight for another year, probably at Hanover, and you know, focus on, you know, being with my family without the pressures of the doctoral program.
Mm-hmm.
And then when this job opened up, my wife and I spoke and decided we got to give it a shot, you know,
Yeah.
because this is always a place that I have respected and thought that could be a good fit.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're certainly glad to have you here. How have your first few weeks been here?
Amazing. I can't say enough about the students here. Number one, you know, make the place, the students love it here. Everybody's excited to be here, respectful, and really one of the big draws for me was such a diverse group of students, being in a diverse community with, in the true sense of the word, diversity in every aspect of the word, and being with a group of students that represents the real population of the world. You know, it's really valuable and an education in itself. I think a lot of kids don't realize what an education they get when they come here just by being in such a diverse and rich environment. And also I've found what I knew to be true is that the staff here is extremely caring. I sensed that early on during the interview process for the job, that everybody just really loved it here and cared about kids and was always doing what they believed to be the right thing to do for kids.
Awesome. So now that you're kind of settling into Norwood High, what are you looking forward to in the future here at NHS?
Oh, I think, you know, one of what my goal is for right now is just to listen, learn, and observe. I think that as a leader, as a new leader, it's important for me to come in and take everything in for a while, because again, there's a really proud tradition that exists at Norwood High. You guys, your teachers, and your parents and the community members know a lot more about that now than I do. So my job, I think, is to listen to people, learn, and then after a while, we'll figure out a few things that we really need to get better at, and we'll work really, really hard to do so. But I think, you know, my goal right now is to do that, build relationships, build trust, build school culture, make sure that everybody is happy, is safe, and is optimizing their education.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the staff, the students, and the Norwood community?
Great job over the first few weeks. Let's just keep it going. You know, stay positive. We're going to have a great future here, and I'm so excited and happy for the warm welcome.
Awesome. Well, NHS is definitely in great hands. Thank you for joining us here today.
All right.
Nice work. On behalf of all of the NHS-TV staff, we'd like to welcome Dr. Galligan to the Norwood family, and we look forward to working with him in the future.
Well, that's all we have for this episode of Mustang Magazine, but don't forget you can always watch us online at www.mustang.media or hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
See you next time. Wait, it's
Hit
not.
them up. Hit them up!
Hit them up.
I gotta say hit. I know, I gotta say hit them up.
That's why I made a
Hope is
face,
not
because I was
over
like, wait a minute.
Yeah. How do you say 5 in German? Hold on a second.
If you're interested in being part of the Circle of Hope Foundation,
And to come back and we're just like, hey.